A beautifully restored motorcycle on display here at the Barber Vintage Motorsports Museum is the full stop on the life of this particular machine. Look closer though and listen, because it's not just an old static motorcycle. It's a physical testament to a dream, an idea or a vision, and the work, energy, and passion of a highly enthusiastic group of individuals who created it. Some of these motorcycles were huge financial successes for the companies or the creators, while others left these pioneers broke, beaten, and finished. But every motorcycle on display here at the museum is the remarkable key to a door, to a story of blood, sweat, and tears. Frustration, innovation, and at times the oft-elusive high of great success. A world championship, a world record, or acts of great heroism. To better understand this physical relationship between the present of these motorcycles and their journey from concept to creation, indeed, how they continue to influence our two-wheeled future, Mr. Barber has a new vision. Tasking Brian Case with building a physical space that can explore and examine this relationship between concepts, ideas, and the reality that they become, we're now ready to go on a journey. We will walk past some of the world's most iconic motorcycle designs and stop, perhaps to reflect for a moment, outside the Advanced Design Center on the Motus MST-V, a motorcycle that was envisioned, drawn, and produced right here in Birmingham, Alabama. Here we will learn how the Design Center came to be, its intended purpose, and how we can interact with it going forward. We will learn about the impact of design, how the center is integrating modern technology with classic restoration to help tell these stories from the past while continuing to explore the future. Let's take a look inside the Advanced Design Center.
Welcome to the Design Center. Over here, we have the digital lab where we can do 3D printing and laser scanning and reverse engineering. Here in the digital lab, we have a 3D printing system by HP. This is the Multi-Jet Fusion 4200. What this machine does, it's a binder jetting. It takes nylon powder and fuses it together layer by layer. Thousands of layers to build your 3D part. Over here is the processing station for the Multi-Jet Fusion system. This machine loads the material and unpacks the parts when they're done printing. So what I'm doing here is vacuuming all of the unused material which the machine recycles. Some parts for you?
Thank you, sir.
There's two little scale model parts in there too.
I'll be back.
Right. Over here we have the powder in inventory. This is the nylon powder. It's 100% pure PA12 nylon powder. And over here we have some finished parts after they've come back from bead blasting. These are durable plastic parts that we're using for the Mono project. This is a tank cover. This is a usable part. We could run this on a motorcycle on the track. And over here, what's really cool is that I made a quarter scale model of the Mono project at the same time I was making the full scale model. You can do that with technology like 3D printing and fit those pieces together. And what you see here is the unfinished gray parts, and the black parts I've dyed black. Fit all that together, and I can check out the whole assembly in a small scale before we build the real thing. I am going to set up a scan here. Let me get the object into place. Targets. So the camera can see these targets in space because they're reflective, and that's how it's going to establish a coordinate system. So that's what the camera sees. That's what this thing, the CTrack, that's the field of view that it sees. It's almost like digitally painting Like with a spray gun, you're kind of just spraying the entire surface with laser light. And the sensors are recording the profile of each of those laser lines, and that's how it generates a 3D surface. The amazing thing with the state of technology and software now is it's scanning into a mesh object in real time, so it's not a point cloud. So it's going to give me an actual mesh when it's done. It'll have a few holes and gaps that I fill in, and then once that's done, I've got a solid object. And it really speeds up the time of development and reverse engineering an object like this. Over this way, here we have the conference area and video wall where we can do digital presentations and full-scale renderings. As you can see here, I've put this rendering full scale and set it on the ground plane. So that was the reason for the digital screens. We just put them right on the floor and gives you a real good sense of proportion and scale in the room. But we also have a light box where you could bring the prototype right here in front of the classroom, and it's lit the way you would expect to see it in professional presentations. Very nice, clean overhead lighting. And we also put in a green screen, several backdrops to do photography. Over here we have the classroom area, and as you can see, it's fabulous views of the racetrack all around you. Over this way, we have a clay modeling studio. One of the things that the Design Center is going to demonstrate is how analog design is still very much a part of the design process. Doing things like clay modeling and prototyping, model making, still very important part of design and industrial design. Such as this clay model here. This was hand sculpted and then laser scanned and turned into a digital form. Over here, we have another workshop area for model making and prototyping. Now let's head over to the video wall where I can show you the concept for the Design Center. I was able to take the plans for the building for the Barber Museum and redraw the entire thing in 3D. And this is just a fast and easy way to flesh out an office space. So this was my tool of choice. I was able to spend the first couple of months of the design phase of this project reaching out to other colleagues, other designers in the field around the world and ask them, what would you want in the ultimate design center? I had a lot of input, things like the video wall, the clay modeling area over here. And what I can do here is show you the rendered version where I've laid everything out that the Design Center was going to look like before we even started building it. Another very helpful tool of rendering software like this is to be able to envision the lighting, how the lighting was going to act in the space. And I was able to put in the LED lighting in the ceiling and see how that was going to reflect on the object in the clay modeling area. Because I modeled the entire space, and I would go in and show the concept and meet with Mr. Barber and show him exactly what it's going to look like, and it was a really useful tool. Another thing I was able to do is predict the path of the sun, which is important in a space like this, which is surrounded by glass on 4 sides. I was worried about how the sun, late in the day, would cast a shadow on the video wall. I was able to geolocate the building, which is very easy to do in SketchUp. And as you can see, I'm moving the time of day with my mouse. This is earlier in the day, and you can see the shadows and the reflections. This is rendering in real time. So I'm just backing up the clock here, and I can see what the light is going to do in our design center at any given time of the day. And it told me that I needed to put a wall here with a little kitchen to block the shadows from the screen. And that was just a little bit of pre-planning.
Thank you for joining us here today at the Advanced Design Center at the Barber Vintage Motorsports Museum, where we have the world's largest collection of motorcycles, so we might study the past to be inspired and create the future.